back to Popcorn for Dinner. This is Jeff.
And Kelly.
So you finally saw Die Hard.
Yes.
Finally.
What took you so long?
Yeah, what took me so long to get you to see Die Hard? What'd you think?
I actually had a lot of fun watching it.
Good, because I think that's the point.
Yeah. I mean, I figure most action movies want you to just have fun.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I did enjoy it. It was very nice to finally have references for all of these things that I hear in pop culture.
Yeah, right. So many jokes on fucking Brooklyn Nine-Nine are gonna make way more sense.
See, now I have to go and restart Brooklyn Nine-Nine and watch it with the knowledge of Die Hard.
Oh, what a chore.
But yeah, it was fun to see a young Alan Rickman.
Mm-hmm, right.
That was
and Bruce Willis for that matter.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that too.
That was his first movie role. He was on Moonlighting for a long time, and then this was his first big movie role.
Mm-hmm.
So literally the youngest Bruce Willis that you're going to see in a movie. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, because I had seen Bruce Willis on Friends, and I saw the movie The Whole Nine Yards.
Yeah, with Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
And Sixth Sense, obviously. We always talk about how much you love Sixth Sense.
Yes.
So I
love that movie.
I like that you mentioned that the type of movie that it is just wants you to have fun. You know, it's just have fun, man. Don't be too crazy about it. Just have fun.
Don't overthink all of the stuff that's happening.
Exactly.
Just
because
enjoy it.
One huge thing that it sticks out every time I watch it now. When I saw it as a kid way back when and just loved it for action, it's so great, all these one-liners.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, exactly. like being all jazzed about it. I didn't think about it too hard, but then getting older and getting more interested in films and sort of just noticing stuff all of a sudden and being like, huh. And so now every time I watch it, I take notice of the fact that it's everybody interrupts each other on the walkie-talkie, which is impossible. It's so funny. And then there's this scene where he's taking the glass out of his feet, and it's you're not even holding it, Bruce.
Yeah.
It's sitting over on the counter. How could you possibly be holding the button down to be talking to Al down there? It's it doesn't make any sense at all. The movie's shut up.
It doesn't matter.
Really, in the end, it's just for convenience sake and stuff, being able to interrupt each other and yell at each other and cut each other off mid-sentence and stuff. And it's just even though you never could, it's still fun.
Oh, yeah.
Die Hard being one of my favorites. I've always asked myself this question of if you could only pick one of two movies to ever watch again for the rest of your life, would it be blank or blank, X or Y? It's always come down, it's Die Hard or Die Hard with a Vengeance, because we do have to watch that one. Die Hard 2 we can forget about, because Die Hard 2 is literally just Die Hard again, except it's in an airport.
Okay.
And it pretty much just beat for beat kind of recreates the same movie.
Okay.
But Die Hard with a Vengeance takes it in a slightly different direction while still keeping it very Die Hard, and it has Samuel L. Jackson in it. So immediately it's a classic, but it's
motherfucking better.
It's really, really good for a third movie in a franchise.
Yeah.
It is really fucking good. It came from it was a different movie. The script was for a movie called Simon Says.
Okay.
And then people read it and were like, let's just make the cop John McClane, and then we'll fill in a couple little details along the way, and now it's Die Hard.
Yeah.
And it works, and it's so good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's when it comes to that, picking between them is actually really, really tough, as much as I love Die Hard. Die Hard might win out just simply because of the classic status of it,
Right.
There's just something about it that is
Die Hard with a Vengeance wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Die Hard.
Exactly. So that's a really tough one. But today we're gonna subject each other to a couple of these horrible hypothetical questions. We're gonna see if we can make our Sophie's choice of movies. Which one? Which one do you save?
Yeah.
I know you said that you got a bunch. You came up with a whole...
I have 9 because one of them included Die Hard. And then after talking about it, I already know that Die Hard would win that fight. So I'm not even going to subject the other movie to that.
Okay. Yeah. I only have 5. So I hope that'll be enough. I hope we...
Okay.
Well, because obviously we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I guess since you have more, do you want to go first, or I don't know?
Sure.
Okay. I don't know how that made logical sense, how those two are connected, but just do it.
So I gotta pick which one am I gonna say first?
You gotta level up the punishment.
Mm-hmm.
Use an easier one
Mhm.
first, and then crank it up
Mm-hmm.
as it goes along.
Okay. So we're gonna start Jurassic Park
Mm.
against Jaws.
Oh, that's fun. Spielberg versus Spielberg. I like that.
There's a couple themes that happen throughout the list.
That is fun. Man, it's it's a shame just because I know the answer, and it just feels so bad to say that I won't watch Jaws anymore. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
think if I had to like point out a specific thing,
Mm-hmm.
there's that huge long stretch of them just like on the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, they're searching for the shark, and yeah, they're, having their crazy conversations and comparing scars and talking about the
Mhm.
Indianapolis and all that crazy shit. But at the same time, it's just guys on a boat
Mm-hmm.
for quite a long stretch towards the end there. So it's like, just for that sake, the fact that Jurassic Park basically just starts and never slows down
Yeah.
and just fucking goes until the end, and you're like, holy shit. With Jaws, that big, long, sort of dead stretch, I think is what puts it under.
Fair judgment. I thought you were gonna go the route of because you love dinosaurs.
I mean, I do.
I mean, sharks are kind of dinosaurs.
Sharks are really cool. I will not deny the coolness of sharks or the greatness of Jaws. It's just
Toe to toe against Jurassic Park just comes up a little short.
just a bit. I guess I'll go with my softest one at first as well.
Okay.
Or at least I hope. I don't know. I hope this isn't like
Yeah,
soul rending or
I'm-
anything.
I'm kind of guessing on these ones too.
So you would have the choice between Forrest Gump
Okay.
or Backdraft.
Oh God, that is a little soul wrenching.
It's very specifically tailored to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like not a whole lot of people playing this game would be like, not Backdraft.
Yeah. Oh man, that is a difficult choice because there is so much greatness to Backdraft.
That cast is stacked. Because what is it? It's Kurt Russell, right?
Yeah. Kurt Russell, Robert De Niro.
Billy Baldwin? I forget
Yes,
which
Billy
yeah,
Billy
okay.
Baldwin and Donald Sutherland.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Like,
Like that is a fucking killer.
come
Isn't Ted Levine? Or no,
oh
no. The guy who played Crawford, right? The FBI director in Silence of the Lambs, Scott Glenn. Isn't he in it? Fuck. I don't remember. Shit. Okay, yeah, we gotta look it up.
Oh wow, I didn't even realize that was her.
Hmm?
So yes, Scott Glenn.
Scott. Okay, yeah.
But it also had Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a very long time, so I don't recall every character in that movie.
Mm-hmm. She played a girlfriend,
Okay.
Billy Baldwin's girlfriend.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And then Rebecca De Mornay.
Yeah.
She played Kurt Russell's ex-wife.
Okay.
And baby mama,
Gotcha. Okay.
because Billy Baldwin and Kurt Russell are brothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay.
Yeah. Like,
slowly coming back into focus.
Yeah, I could go through the whole plot of that movie.
It is such a cool concept too, of like arsonist serial killer, essentially
Yeah.
putting the like procedural crime solving movie into the
Mhm.
hands of firefighters instead
Yeah.
of like detectives and stuff. It's like, what a
I
great
mean,
twist on the
That is a
concept.
real thing.
No, well,
Like,
yeah,
fire-
in movies, I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because it's
They-
always
it's always the cops.
yeah.
The cops deal with everything.
Yeah. Plus, it's the Chicago Fire Department, and they filmed in actual Chicago firehouses. They filmed in the city. Like,
Uh-huh.
it's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, Billy Baldwin lives by the L. Like, it's great.
And then on the other hand, you got Forrest Gump,
Forrest Gump.
which
Which, how could you? Yeah. Like, how do you vote against Tom Hanks?
how do you tell Tom Hanks no?
Yeah. Right. Like,
And
talk
Gary
about
Sinise, for that matter.
right.
If I were in the situation to pick,
Mm-hmm.
I would probably always pick against Forrest Gump, only because of the amount of times that I've seen it. That
Yeah.
it's like, it's already in my head. Unless this game is erasing the movie from your memory. You know what I mean? In that case,
Yeah.
that it's like, oh, it makes the choice a little more difficult. Because
Mhm.
it is fun to watch Forrest Gump like as just like this crazy weird adventure of this guy.
Yeah.
But once you've seen it like 7,000 times, and you're like, oh yeah, and then this part, and then he's got the shirt, and then it's the smiley face, and then he's just running, and he got a beard,
Mhm.
and he's just running.
Yeah.
You know, it gets a little like, okay,
Mhm.
and
Redundant.
yeah. But yeah, if it was like watching it for the first time, I don't want to get that metaphysical with it, where it's like,
Mhm.
okay, once
Yeah.
you make this choice, you wipe your memory. Men in Black style.
Yeah. See, it's not as easy for me on that front because yeah, I've seen Forrest Gump a bunch.
Hmm.
I watched it a bunch as a kid, but I still just absolutely love that movie. Like it's so wholesome. Like even while dealing with like some dark shit.
Yeah.
What's great about that movie for me at least was like watching it as I aged essentially and learned more about the world and
Hmm.
during that time of the movie and like seeing it and like realizing more and more
Yeah, seeing the
like
significance of certain things that you couldn't as a kid.
yeah, exactly.
Because you're like, well, okay, so those people are mad about something, and then now
Mhm.
you're like, oh fuck, Vietnam.
Yeah.
Like it's a way different thing than just
Oh
being
yeah.
like, there's some hippies that are yelling
Yeah.
into like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah. Like I get it.
Yeah, now
Okay.
things they take on a sort of a different light.
It is a very tough choice, but I think that I have to go with Backdraft. Mainly because there's a lot of other great wholesome movies out there. There's a lot of other great Tom Hanks movies out there.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks is going to be playing the most wholesome man when he plays Fred Rogers.
Hmm.
I think that evens out the loss of Forrest Gump.
Yeah, and I mean, how many really good firefighter movies are there really?
2. Backdraft and Ladder 49.
I've never seen that one. I've heard of it before.
Hmm. It's decent. It's got a pretty decent cast to it as well.
Isn't Joaquin Phoenix in it?
Joaquin Phoenix is like the main character in it. His chief is John Travolta. He plays.
He's pretty hit or miss for me.
He
he pretty good?
hit that role. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Never rooting for a bad performance.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, so solely because there's only 2, I have
yeah,
to
it
keep
makes sense.
Backdraft. I
Yeah,
can't.
you got to save it.
Can't slash that in half. That's too much.
Yeah.
It's losing a lot. So now that my torture is done for now.
Man, I got worse ones, so I'm
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
All right. Little Miss Sunshine
Oh.
versus Emperor's New Groove.
What a weird fucking what's the theme
I
here?
don't know.
Oh man, that's tough. That's a rough one because it's like, oh no, wait. Oh
Would you like to pass on that one?
no.
Because I
No, that's not the point.
others.
Man, that's rough. It's a weird one to kind of compare.
Mhm.
I do love Emperor's New Groove a lot.
Yeah.
Like I've seen that one definitely more times than I've seen Little Miss Sunshine.
Mhm.
And it's so damn funny. It really is.
And it's so rewatchable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just sort of finish it and just turn it right back on again. Like you can just rewatch it immediately. It's really damn funny, but there's something to be said about that ensemble in Little Miss Sunshine.
Mhm.
Like that cast was perfect. I
Yeah.
couldn't think of anybody else to play any of those characters that would have made it any better.
It's Toni Collette. Right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. As the mom, oh, she's hysterical.
I love her.
Greg Kinnear, Steve Carell, Paul
Mhm.
Dano. Oh my God, how am I forgetting her name? Olive.
That is she's in
Yeah, she's in
Zombieland.
Zombieland. Abigail Breslin.
There you go.
Yeah, she was fantastic. And Alan Arkin as the
Mhm.
grandpa.
But he
Oh.
was great.
I think the answer is going to very definitively be Little Miss Sunshine. I'm going to pick Little Miss Sunshine because it's just a more complete kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like Emperor's New Groove is fantastic and funny, and I love watching it. It's got a lot of great gags, a lot of great voice acting, but there's something about like the highs and lows of Little Miss Sunshine really make it what it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's very much not happy the whole time. It's
Right.
got a lot of really
It has more highs and lows, not comedic lows.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just like a very dynamic movie where it'll jump
Mhm.
from something hysterical to something just like soul crushing.
Yeah.
And yet it's still got that bright Southwest, color palette and everything to it where it never seems like it wallows in how sad it is at certain points,
Mhm.
but it also doesn't gloss it over either.
Yeah.
I love the ride that movie takes you on. And that ending, I've I feel like I always retain when people really like criticize certain parts of movies that I really like. So it
Mhm.
seems in my head like people hated it, but it's like it might not be a consensus, but it's at least something that stuck out to me of people, talking shit about it and saying that ending, that dance when they all get
Mhm.
on stage and they're all dance, they were like, that felt so unearned. And I was like, that felt like the fucking culmination of the whole movie.
Yeah.
That felt like the whole fucking point of a whole bunch of people who were all like aiming in different directions and nobody was on each other's side
Mhm.
in this family. And then by the end of it, they've all got each other's backs.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I can't think of a more apt way to fucking end that movie. And
Yeah,
especially in
seriously.
the face of all those people who were like talking
Looking
shit about them.
down,
Exactly.
yeah.
And being like, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck you. Who
Yeah.
cares? I loved it. I have the shooting script right up on my thing because I got it from Borders for 1 cent.
Nice.
They like pennied them out, I guess, and left it on the shelf. And I grabbed it and I was like, is this really a penny? They were like, I guess. Here you go. And I left
Yeah.
with it. Like, all right, cool. I'm debating how hard to go with this next one.
That's what she
I
said.
think I have there's a very definite theme to this one that
Okay.
you'll be able to tell. And it's preying off of your admiration of a certain actor to choose one or the other.
Oh no.
Inglourious Bastards or Django Unchained.
Oh no. Oh no.
Which Christoph Waltz performance
Oh man.
makes the cut? That was really what did. It's like obviously Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
But that was more specifically the crux of the choice is Christoph Waltz. At the very least, in this case, with these choices, at least you get one of them.
This is true.
You just have to decide which end of the spectrum do you prefer him on.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of really very opposite characters.
They are. The good German and the bad German. that's really it.
I know a lot of folks would just immediately go with Inglourious Bastards.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Django Unchained is sort of unfairly labeled too far below by a lot of people.
Wholeheartedly agree.
I think that they're pretty damn equal in footing in terms of movies and the performances in them.
Oh yeah.
To me, it's a bit tougher, and I'm sure to you, it's
Yeah.
a very tough choice.
It's like in my head, I've got like, all right, Christoph Waltz eating strudel, Christoph Waltz preparing himself a beer.
Oh right,
strudel beer. Like, oh god, oh. Goofy evil German or delightful
whimsical
with
bounty
that
hunter.
fucking tooth.
Yeah.
Oh. I love both these movies,
Mm-hmm.
and they're both stacked
Yeah,
in terms of
yeah.
actors. Like, there's
I guess a suggestion is like, since the performances of Christoph Waltz are so close, then you have to think of what outside of Christoph Waltz in the movies pushes one over the other.
And for that reason, I have to go with Django as my one to keep.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Don't get me wrong, I fucking love Inglourious Bastards.
Mm-hmm.
And I like war pics and but Jamie Foxx's performance in Django stands out so hard for me. Like it was amazing.
Yeah.
The like little love story tied in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Broomhilda.
Yeah.
Christoph Waltz telling that fairy tale
Right?
is enough
It's
to choose. It's such a wonderful scene.
Yeah, because you can like see Jamie Foxx like gaining this like new appreciation for his wife, and it's so beautiful. Plus, Leo friggin' kills it.
I was gonna say there's on the two sides of the scale for the two movies. It's like, okay, so Django, you get scenery chewing bad guy Leonardo DiCaprio. But in Inglourious Bastards, you get slightly less scene chewing, but still hysterical and wonderful performance from Brad Pitt.
Yeah,
and you got the two on either side, like, because that honestly, I thought you were gonna pick Inglourious Bastards, like as you were leading up, and I thought that was gonna be the tipping point. It's gonna be like because Brad Pitt,
no, surprisingly, because Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, no, he's great too. Though. I love that.
Also, Sam L's performance.
Man, what a fucking bastard! I love that. That is so. Such a good thing.
He was so perfectly hateable. In Inglourious Bastards, I love that they continued Shoshana's storyline, that they
Mhm.
didn't just leave it at the opening, that, added some depth to the story. It wasn't just about the soldiers,
Mhm.
that wasn't just, the opening scene wasn't just a like scene setter for what's happening in the world right now. It
Yeah.
actually played into the rest of the story. That was great. But as much as I love World War II movies and their different iterations from hyper realistic like Dunkirk to fucking goofy as hell Inglorious Bastards,
Yeah. Gotta go with Django.
gotta go with Django. Sorry, bastards. You were inglorious.
But not enough.
Yes. So this one has an actor theme for you.
Okay.
Zodiac
Ooh.
versus Nightcrawler.
Ooh, there. That's a spicy meatball. Especially, oh man, you know what makes that interesting to me?
Hmm.
Because I remember going to see Zodiac when it came out.
Okay.
I think I was on a date with somebody, and it was literally more of just like I want to go see this movie, so that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
With total disregard to the idea of like, also it's 3 hours long and it's about a serial killer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a great date movie.
Yeah, so
right
it's
there.
literally, it was just like, I just want to see this movie. You being here is kind of just happenstance.
Yeah.
But I went to go see it and fucking adored it. Like I was just enthralled
Mhm.
with that fucking movie. Like I love David Fincher anyway,
Yeah.
and his style put onto a true crime movie like that is just so perfect. It's honestly a little bit of a shame. There's a movie called, or not a movie, it's a show called, I think it's called Mind Hunters,
Mhm.
and it's about like the beginnings of law enforcement and psychologists like defining serial killers,
Okay.
basically coming across cases where people have done these like horrible things and why they do,
Mhm. Yeah,
know,
getting motive and stuff.
exactly. And, talking with all these like crazy prisoners and stuff and whatever.
Mhm.
First season, I forget how much of it, but it was like developed by David Fincher.
Oh.
And, it seemed like it was fucking a match made in heaven. And I got like 3 episodes into it and I just couldn't really keep going.
Mm.
I was kind of bummed because I was like, oh my God, it's Zodiac in show form. I'm so in. But it didn't quite grab me like Zodiac did. But Zodiac, holy shit, so fucking good. Obviously, I know the actor connection between the two of Jake Gyllenhaal.
Mhm.
Jake Gyllenhaal and Nightcrawler being such a fucking, what a movie. Oh my God. That one took me by surprise. That one was very similar to Hereditary in terms of going into it and being
Mhm.
like, those two movies, when I went into it, I was like, I think I'm going to enjoy these. And when I came out, I was like, I fucking loved that. Like it was way above
Yeah.
my sort of expectation. Nightcrawler especially was just like, that was fucking nuts. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God.
That was a rush.
Yeah, it went everywhere I wanted it to go, while at the same time going a ton of places I had no clue it was going to go. Like it was,
Mhm.
oh my God, it was so cool. So it's when you're comparing the two, it's really tough because it's like Jake Gyllenhaal as the connector. Like Jake Gyllenhaal isn't even the top reason why I like Zodiac.
Yeah.
So it's hard to it makes the comparison difficult because it's like if I pick Zodiac, I've got a director that I love, a
Mhm.
script that I thought was fantastic, a cast that I thought was pitch perfect, like everybody involved in it, Anthony Edwards and Mark Ruffalo as the detectives, fucking John Carroll Lynch with his one scene playing the guy that they're pretty fucking sure is the Zodiac. Oh my God. And Robert Downey Jr. is the journalist, and then fucking Jake Gyllenhaal himself.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal. So it was really great, but his performance is really good too, and I like what he does. But at the same time, there's so much more to that movie that's like that. I like it for a ton of different reasons.
Mhm.
And Nightcrawler, well, I did like it for a ton of different reasons. The main reason I liked it was because of how fucking magnetic he was on the screen.
Yeah.
Like I could not take my eyes off Jake Gyllenhaal that whole movie. It was just like this is the best fucking acting I've ever seen from him.
Yeah,
His greatest
absolutely.
performance. He killed it. So the choice between the two is so tough because it's like, I think as a movie, I like Zodiac better,
Right.
but I don't think there's a performance in Zodiac that rivals Jake Gyllenhaal in Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
A great performance.
But even
Um,
overall,
No, yeah, and overall,
Nightcrawler still.
Nightcrawler was a really fucking good movie. Bill Paxton. Oh,
Oh, Bill Paxton.
that was a fun role to see him,
Oh,
like just
and
to see him again.
who was the chick that played the news anchor?
It was
There you
Renee Russo, but yeah, her scene with him when they're out to dinner, and he basically
Mhm.
just like drops the facade of like, I just don't like people,
Yeah.
and it's like, ooh, oh man. I think unfortunately my love of true crime is going to trump my love of that Jake Gyllenhaal performance, and I'm gonna have to pick Zodiac because as great as Nightcrawler was and is, I mean, it's not like it's gone.
Yeah.
It would be for me, but
I can watch it. I'll tell you about it.
really good. It's that part where he shoots the guy. Riz Ahmed too is fucking great in it as cameraman.
Right?
Dude.
Oh,
It
poor
is
guy.
really fucking good. But yeah, Zodiac, especially with the way that it just sort of ends. Like they don't ever catch him. There's that one sequence where Jake Gyllenhaal goes into like the hardware store where
Mhm.
John Carroll Lynch's character is now working,
hmm
and he just kind of makes eye contact with him, and like his face just like sort of drops as he looks at Jake Gyllenhaal's character, and you kind of get that sense of like,
hmm
like, and I know what's gonna happen. Like nothing's gonna happen, and he just leaves, and then
Mhm.
it kind of just peters out, and they have that one little quick scene where the kid from years and years ago comes and points out John Carroll Lynch's picture in like a lineup, like any of these guys look familiar, and then it sort of ends there, and it has the like the title of like, John Carroll Lynch eventually. No, not John Carroll Lynch. He's perfectly alive. Lee Allen, Arthur Lee Allen, like died before they could ever make any actual accusations or make any arrests or anything like that.
Mhm.
But everyone is pretty certain it was him, but they could never actually nail it down.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the way that it is, and unless some sort of crazy ass technology comes about in the next decade or so,
Yeah.
where they could somehow trace something back to him, I think
Mhm.
that's just the way that story's going to end. Is like, we don't know, and that's such a like a crazy like it's perfect for a movie that long. Like it feels like a hysterical joke in and of itself of being like, you're going to immerse in this world for so long while these people try and uncover it, and they don't.
Yeah. You don't even get to see the whole story.
Yeah, it's like because it's just whatever. Like I something about me really appreciates that. I know I'm sure to some people it was like a slap in the face, being like fucking 3 hours and they didn't even figure it out.
Yeah.
But I kind of love that aspect of it. Like, yeah, no, Zodiac it is.
Alright.
And so for you, the last one I'm going to do, simply because of something that you said.
Oh no.
That reaction, like, oh god, like it's actually gonna happen. Please don't take my movies away.
Just saying.
It's more fun just watching you like be terrified of it.
I'm glad this isn't video
Oops.
recorded.
Okay, so Dunkirk
Oh, okay.
or Saving Private Ryan.
Okay.
You mentioning World War II movies and how much you love them made me realize I was like, that's the duo I'm picking then. Those are the two.
Oh man. Okay.
It's like
I
because
have
they're
to-
technically both World War II movies, but they're so far removed from each other that it's like, oh god, like I figured it would be it would be a great like.
So real quick, I have to get into the headspace of thinking of World War II movies. I was afraid you were gonna say Moana versus Twister.
No, not
because I
that.
specifically said not to. Because I can't choose between those two movies.
No.
Like then I lose. Like that's what happens.
Game over.
Okay, Dunkirk versus Saving Private Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
You really like throwing Tom Hanks my way, don't you? Okay, so like initial reaction, I want to say Saving Private Ryan, but that's like my knee jerk reaction. Like, oh,
Yeah.
that movie's been around. Like that, it's
It's a classic American picture
Yeah, like
about America,
yeah,
Americans. Yeah.
shooting up shit.
Yeah.
But with Dunkirk, the fact that, like, at least for me, like public school in the US,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't really learn about that.
No, I definitely never. I mean,
Like,
I'll put it this way: they never put it in a way that made me pay attention.
Yeah.
If they told me about it, I don't remember it.
Yeah, at least in high school, because I know that like we didn't. It was like a like glossed over thing. So at some point in like K through 5, a little bit more in more like
World War II. Some countries were mad at each other. Moving on.
Never learned about all of that, and then so like going and watching a movie and knowing that it was, fairly accurate to what actually happened.
Yeah.
The story itself amazed me.
Mm-hmm.
That like, god damn, like these people actually went and went and saved their brothers. Like,
Yeah.
that was
this fleet of
a fleet
like,
of
just normal
just,
people.
Yeah, just like fishermen.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like learning about history and
Mhm.
specifically like war stuff.
Mhm.
That's for whatever reason that floats my
man.
boat. So like knowing that like Dunkirk is a more accurate, true to life ish. Like I'm sure some of the parts with oh my god,
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
With the
Thank
plane.
you. Yes, I'm sure some of that was
Dramatized.
dramatized a bit
Mhm.
for the big screen. And, who knows if there actually was a like French soldier that took an English soldier's uniform to get out of there.
Yeah.
Like, sounds like something that could have happened.
Yeah, it sounds like something that there was like probably happened at some point, and it was just repurposed here. Like, oh, that would make for a good story beat.
And then looking at Saving Private Ryan and knowing that probably wasn't something that actually happened. Obviously, I know that they stormed the beaches of Normandy. Like,
right, yeah.
And I know that
everyone-
opening sequence is
like horrifyingly realistic.
Yes. Yeah, like PTSD inducing
Yeah.
realism. Which on one hand is like terrifying, but on the other hand for me is like that's so interesting.
Yeah,
like,
that's a hell of an accomplishment.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's on that's like the highest fucking compliment you could get as a filmmaker, being like, you captured it exactly.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, wow.
Yeah, like that is exactly what it was like. And
yeah.
so it's terrifying to see it from that perspective and like get that view of the war while at the same time like connecting you to the characters that are going to carry you throughout the story.
They're very different movies in the sense that, like, I mean, you don't even learn the fucking kid's name in Dunkirk.
Honestly, don't think that I could tell you any of their names.
No, yeah, they're just folks. You're just there. You're in it.
Yeah,
and you just sort of watch as it happens. But then with Saving Private Ryan, they are very much archetypal movie characters, and they they get their backstories and their names, and they tell you about life back home, and they give you the little speeches, and you learn who they are.
Vin
and everything.
Diesel does his thing.
Yeah, so it's like in that case, it's a bit more of just like a classic movie, and then Dunkirk definitely takes a very different approach to it.
Getting towards the edge of like documentary style,
Yeah,
but
like
not...
it's almost like recreation, like
yeah.
as opposed to using World War II as a setting for a story.
Right.
Its story is World War II, so it's
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like it's more specifically aimed at like what happened, and not like here's a fun story, or I mean, I guess not fun.
Yeah.
here's
a fun little ditty.
Yeah, here's a song. Yeah, like here's a story, like an engaging story written against the backdrop of World War II.
And don't get me wrong, like the actual like story and how it progresses throughout the movie for Saving Private Ryan is great. But I'm gonna keep Dunkirk, which I like feel bad like ditching another Tom Hanks movie.
You just said there's plenty of Tom Hanks out there, but
there
fucking
are a lot of Tom Hanks movies.
Yeah, man.
Like I still got the Green Mile, so we're good
for now.
Oh no. Just the setting that Dunkirk put you in, and like it really, despite it covering a like good amount of area, I feel like Dunkirk felt small, if that makes sense. Like they were like,
in a way,
like confined to the beach and just like a
Yeah, they
little
weren't-
bit of the town. Like they were so pressed back, and I feel like the movie like really captured that feeling that you felt like almost like claustrophobic being
Yeah.
on that beach. Like you can't go anywhere else. Like there is water that you can't swim far enough
Yeah.
to, and then there's the enemy. And I feel like it really captured that feeling, and for being able to put someone in that sort of mindset
Mhm.
for the duration of the movie, I think that Dunkirk deserves to stay.
Yeah, because Saving Private Ryan was kind of like Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean? Where
Mhm.
they have to like traverse a long way and find something. You know, and they have a
Yeah.
very specific, like they're going across the countryside and they go from
Yeah.
this town to that town and there's a lot of moving
Mhm.
around.
And they
And
blow
with
up this
yeah,
tank, and then they blow up that bridge, and then
yeah,
they find someone that's Private Ryan,
but he's
but
not
is
the
the
Private
not the
Ryan.
Private Ryan. His
Yeah, saving a Private Ryan.
yeah,
They just take him anyway, like close enough.
yeah. That
Tough
was
choices though, man.
that was difficult.
Yeah, I'm not sure if what I have left for next time we try to do this is harsher. One of them is one of those. It's kind of like what you threw at me,
Hmm.
where it's like
Completely off
there's
the
a
wall.
well, no, where it's
Oh.
like there's an obvious choice. It's just a shame.
Hmm.
I feel like one of them is going to be that for you, but I think the other one might be a little bit tougher. And then I still got to think of at least another one
Okay.
because I only have a couple left. I think we're going to end it for this week here at Popcorn for Dinner. This is Jeff.
This is Kelly. Au revoir, Shoshana.